Hey, Jai students, and welcome to the another session of our online class. How are you all? I hope you all must be fine and doing great at your home. So today in our series of online classes, we are going to discuss the second chapter of our main book, that is The Tiger King by Kalki. Before I proceed to the chapter's explanation, let me quickly tell you about the author. Okay, so author of the story is Ramaswamy Iyer Krishnamurthy. He was a Tamil writer, journalist, poet, critic, and Indian independence activist. He was born on 9th September 1899 and he died on 5th December 1954. His pen name was Kalki. He penned 120 short stories, 10 novelettes, 5 novels, 3 historical romances, editorial and political writing, and hundreds of films and music reviews. Okay, so this was about him, and he was a kind of a humorous person. You can see here on the screen. He has written a satire through this chapter. He's just bringing out satire from this chapter, and he has raised a contemporary issue, and that is tiger hunting. Okay, now let me give you the brief introduction of the chapter. Then I will come to the explanation part. Okay, so the story is a satire on rich and powerful kings of the olden times. Okay? Okay, so you must be thinking, what is a satire? Satire is a technique employed by writers to expose and criticize say the foolishness and corruption of an individual or a society by using humor, irony, exaggeration or ridicule. Means he brings that foolishness of the character also in such a way that it should not look very much harsh in such a manner. So it intends to improve humanity by criticizing its follies and foibles. Okay. So now let me give you the further introduction of the chapter. Okay, so the story is a satire on the rich and powerful kings of the olden times. In order to prove the prophecies of the fortune teller wrong, the king of Pratibandhapuram, who is our main protagonist, means the main hero of the story also, he mindlessly kills 99 tigers, but the 100th one, the cause of the king's death, escaped his bullet. Okay, and ultimately the king is killed by an inanimate tiger made up of wood. Hence the prophecy turns to be true despite the king's effort to prove it wrong. Now you all must be thinking, what is this word prophecy? So prophecy means any future statement which foretellers tell us that this thing will happen in the future. That is called prediction. You can also say it is a kind of a prediction. Prophecy means kind of a prediction. Okay, statement which is going to be true in the coming future. So is it clear? Right. So the Maharaja of Pratibandhapuram is the hero of this story. Okay, he is having so many names that we are going to discuss later on when we will go with the reading of the chapter. He may be identified as His Highness, Jamidar, General, Khiledar, Major. So many names are there. When we will read it, we will get to know. Okay, Sir Jilani, Jung Bahadur, and so many. Right? So let me begin with the explanation. It is a very, very interesting story, bringing out a very, contemporary issue of tiger hunting. How the tigers, they become extinct. It will bring out the foolishness of the king also. It will also bring out his wiseness also. Okay, so it is a mix of so many emotions, and it's going to be fun. Okay, so let me start reading the chapter. The Maharaja of Pratibandapuram is the hero of this story. He may be identified as His Highness Jabedar General, Khiledar Major, Satavyagra Samhari, Maharaja Dhiraj Viswa Bhuvana, Samrat Sir Jilani Jungjung Bahadur, MAD, ACTC or CRCK, but this name is often shortened to the Tiger King. So these all are the titles given to this man who is the hero of our story. He is the Maharaja of the state Pratibandapuram. Okay, and all these titles which he has grabbed, why the writer has mentioned all this to show his grandness, how grand he was, what kind of a personality that king was having. Okay, to show all this. And the king is a hero due to his bravery. He is given a list of titles to emphasize on his greatness. To sum up all the titles in one, the king is called the Tiger King. The reason for him being called so shall be revealed in the lesson ahead. Okay, now let's move to the second slide. Okay, I have come forward to tell you why he came to be known as Tiger King. I have no intention of pretending to advance only to end in a strategic withdrawal. Even the threat of a Stuka bomber will not throw me off track. The Stuka, if it likes, can beat a hasty retreat from my story. So here there is a word used, pretending. It means behaving so as to make it appear that something is the case when in fact it is not. Pretending means to show, okay, which is not real. Then there is a word called strategic, which is here. That means calculated. And there is a word used, Stuka bomber. Stuka bombers you can see here on the screen. These were the German bomber aircraft that was used in the Second World War, and they were having very accurate target. They never missed their target. So the writer tells us that he would let us know why the king was called the Tiger King. Okay, it's a very interesting story why he was called as Tiger King. He further promises the reader, okay, that he will not go back on his promise even if he is under the threat of an attack by a Stuka bomber aircraft. Instead, he says that Stuka bomber aircraft can go back because he is not scared of it, and he will tell the reader why the king was called the Tiger King. He said that if anything will happen right now, I'm not going to be back-footed. I will definitely tell the story. What if the Stuka bombers come and start attacking on me? Then also I will not go back. So here there is a phrase used, beat a hasty retreat. Okay, that means to move back, right? So I hope this must be clear to all of you. Now let us move quickly to the next paragraph. Right at the start, it is imperative to disclose a matter of vital importance about the Tiger King. Everyone who reads of him will experience the natural desire to meet a man of his indomitable courage face to face, but there is no chance of its fulfillment. As Bharat said to Rama about Dashratha, the Tiger King has reached the final abode of all living creatures. In other words, the Tiger King is dead. The manner of his death is a matter of extraordinary interest. It can be revealed only at the end of the tale. The most fantastic aspect of his demise was that as soon as he was born, astrologers had foretold that one day Tiger King would actually have to die. Okay. The writer says that before elaborating about the Tiger King, one important thing about him, he said that before elaborating about the Tiger King, one important thing about him was that any person who read about the Tiger King would be very excited to meet a man of such undefeatable courage. But he says that there is no chance of meeting the Tiger King, as the Tiger King is already dead and he has reached heaven. So here you can see there is a word abode. Abode means heaven, and there is another word that is indomitable courage. Indomitable courage means undefeatable courage. Okay. Then the writer says the manner in which the Tiger King died was very interesting. The writer could tell us about it only at the end of the story, but he adds that a very interesting fact about the Tiger King's death was that when the Tiger King was born, astrologers had predicted at that time that one day the Tiger King would die. This prediction is meaningless because as a matter of fact, everyone has to die one day. Okay, so nothing new that astrologers had done. They predicted that this boy or this child will die one day. So everybody, it is a very well known fact that everybody who has taken birth on this earth has to die one day. So what's new about it? Now let's move to the next slide. Okay. The child will grow up to become the warrior of warriors. Now, astrologers were doing this prediction about the Tiger King. See what they are saying. The child will grow up to become the warrior of warriors, hero of heroes, champion of champions. But they bit their lips and swallowed hard. When compelled to continue, the astrologers came out with it. This is a secret which should not be revealed at all, and yet we are forced to speak out. The child born under the star will one day have to meet its death. Okay, so here there is a word used, compelled. Compelled means force. The writer gives an elaborate description of what the astrologers predicted at the time of the birth of the Tiger King. They said that the child would grow up to become a brave warrior, a hero and a champion. But after that, they stopped and bit their lips like this. You can see here on the screen. Okay, in order to show their reluctance to speak, means they were hesitated. They were speaking, and all of a sudden they stopped and they start biting their lips. When the astrologers were forced to continue, that tell us what's the matter, they said that what they would reveal just now was a secret. What is the secret? Now let's see. They said that the child, that is the Tiger King, was born under such a star. That means when he was born, the stars which was up there in the sky was such, okay, that any person who was born at that time had to meet his death one day. Again, this prediction is meaningless because as a fact everyone has to meet his death one day. Okay. At that very moment, a great miracle took place. An astonishing phrase emerged from the lips of the 10-day-old Jilani Jungjung Bahadur. Oh, wise prophet! Everyone stood transfixed in stupefaction. They looked wildly at each other and blinked. Okay, so you can see here on the picture the facial expression. What is it? Acha, there are so many words also which came here that let me tell you their meaning. Transfixed. Transfixed means to become motionless with horror, wonder or astonishment. Just like this lady, okay. You can see the expressions on her face. Then stupefaction means shock, okay. And here what's happening? All of a sudden, when they were talking, astrologers, they were talking, discussing about the stars of this small child, newly born baby, a miracle took place, a magic happened. And what is that magic? The 10-day-old Tiger King, whose name was Jilani Jungjung Bahadur, He spoke up. 10 days old boy spoke up. Can you imagine a child 10 days born speaking? It's not possible. So here the poet has used a kind of an exaggeration. Okay. All the listeners were surprised to see a 10-day-old baby speak. Right? And they were quite shocked, surprised at how it can be possible that a 10-day-old baby can speak. How is it possible? So they all were shocked. They looked wildly at each other and blinked. Now let's move. Okay, so then they were quite confused, puzzled. Then all of a sudden what happened? A voice came. Oh, wise prophet, it was I who spoke. You can see here on the screen a newly born baby, and these were the astrologers. Okay, this time there were no grounds for doubt. It was the infant born just 10 days ago who had enunciated the words so clearly. Enunciated means pronounce the words so clearly. His even voice was quite clear. It was not childish. Okay. The chief astrologer took off his spectacles like this. He's taking off his spectacles. You can see here on the screen, and gazed intently at the baby. And he looked very carefully. You know, he kept on looking at that baby very carefully. Then, next. Okay, all those who are born will one day have to die. We don't need your predictions to know that. There would be some sense in it if you could tell us the manner of that death. The royal infant uttered these words in his little squeaky voice. See how wise he was, the child. How intelligently he was talking at that point of time also. The Tiger King said in its squeaky voice that all those who are born have to die one day. And he did not need their predictions to know this fact, because it is a meaningless prediction. Of course it is a meaningless prediction, because those who have taken birth, they have to die. So there is nothing new in this. He said that there will be some value to your prediction if you will tell me the manner of my death. Okay, that would make some sense to him if you will tell him how he will die. So he spoke so intelligent, so wise when he was only 10 days old. You can see here in the screen also, a child has taken birth. He has grown young and then old, and then finally he is died. And you can see here there is a sign of infinity. You can see this sign like this way. See, infinity sign means it is a never-ending process. Okay, it is a never-ending process, and death is inevitable. So that prediction that he will die one day was meaningless. Okay, now let's move. The chief astrologer placed his finger on his nose in wonder. A baby barely 10 days old opens its lips in speech. Not only that, it also raises intelligent questions. Incredible! Rather like the bulletins issued by the War Office than facts. Okay, so incredible means unbelievable. It was, it was unbelievable for the astrologers to see a baby 10 years old talking and raising such intelligent questions, and they were quite shocked. You can see here on the picture, really means they couldn't believe this fact. Okay. The chief astrologer took his finger off his nose and fixed his eyes upon the little prince. The prince was born in the hour of the bull. The bull and the tiger are enemies. Therefore, death comes from the tiger, he explained. The chief astrologer was amazed to see a 10-day-old baby speak and ask intelligent questions. Okay, and it was unbelievable for him, just like the news which came from the wars. Wars, they give such news which you do not want to hear, and you can't even believe on them. He took off his finger from his nose and looked carefully at the little prince. Then he added that as the Tiger King was born in the hour of the bull, which was an enemy of the tiger, hence the Tiger King would die due to a tiger only. What is this? If you can relate it, like in India also it happens when a child takes birth, then we make kundali. Are you relating? We prepare a kundali. A panditji used to come to our house and used to prepare that kundali, and then we find out in which sunshine sign he has taken birth. वो राशि क्या है? So they were also doing all that calculations, predictions they were making based on his stars. Okay, so that's what's happening here. And then they calculated that he was born in the hour of the bull, and bull and the tigers, they are enemies, of course. So that is why his death will come from a tiger only. Right? Now let's move. You may think that Crown Prince Jung Bahadur was thrown into a quake when he heard the word tiger. That was exactly what did not happen. As soon as he heard it pronounced, the Crown Prince gave a deep growl. Terrifying words emerged from his lips. Let tigers beware. This account is only a rumor rife in Pratibandhapuram, but with hindsight, we may conclude it was based on some truth. Okay, the writer says, that the reader may feel that the Tiger King trembled upon hearing the name of a tiger. Generally it happens with the small child, like a small child gets afraid when he heard these sort of words. Okay, but actually that did not happen. On the other hand, as soon as the Crown Prince Jung Bahadur heard the name of a tiger, he made a deep growling sound and spoke terrifying words. He said that all the tigers should beware. I am not afraid of the tigers. Let all the tigers be afraid of me now. Okay, this is what he said. So then here you can see that this account is only a rumor rife in Pratibandhapuram, but with hindsight we may conclude it was based on some truth. So rumor means, what is rumor? अफवाह जिसे आप लोग बोलते हैं, very correct. So a currently circulating story or report of uncertain or doubtful truth. It's not true. There was always some proportion of doubt inside it. That is called rumor. Then rife means widespread. It was spread like anything, prevalent. And hindsight means to understand an event or situation after it has happened. Means we believe that situation once it has already happened. That is called hindsight. So the writer here says that the story is a rumor that was heard by him in Pratibandhapuram. He said, I heard the story in Pratibandhapuram and it is a kind of a rumor. But if we look at the happenings of the past, we could conclude that these rumors were based on true happenings. Okay, so this was all about the very first part. Let us move to the second part. Okay, now Crown Prince Jung Bahadur grew taller and stronger day by day. You can see here in this picture. On other no other miracle marked his childhood days. That was the only miracle that he spoke only within 10 days of his birth, and he asked very intelligent questions. That was the only miracle. After that, no other miracle happened like this. Okay. Apart from the event already described, the boy drank the milk of an English cow. Okay, he was from a royal family, of course. Was brought up by an English nanny. Okay, fine. Tutored in English by an Englishman. Saw nothing but English films, exactly as the crown princes of all the other Indian states did. When he came of age at 20, the state which had been with the court of wards until then came into his hands. Why he was crown prince? He was crown prince because he was quite young, and he has not attained the age in which he should be given the rank of king, proper king, and he was brought up in such a royal way, just like other prince of other states. So now see, the crown prince Jung Bahadur grew taller and stronger as the day passed by. There were no other miracles in his childhood. Okay, there is a word used, court of wards. What is this? The court of wards was a legal body created by the East India Company. At that time, Britishers, they were ruling. Okay, and East India Company was very much there. So it was a legal body created by East India Company. Its purpose was to protect heirs. Heirs means उत्तराधिकारी जिसे हम कह सकते हैं. Okay, heirs and their estates when the heir was deemed to be a minor and therefore incapable of acting independently. Okay, so when these heirs were minor, so who used to take care of their their state? British people. And once they attained the age, then their state was handed over to them to take care of it. So as a boy, he drank the milk of an English cow. He was brought up by an English governess, got lessons in English by an Englishman, and watched English films just like other crown princes. When the crown prince Jung Bahadur turned 20 years of age, means he attained the age of 20 years, the royal state, which had been in the custody of the courts of war, which I discussed, means it was with the British people at that time. Okay, so that was handed over, that was given to him. Is it clear? Okay, now let's move. But everyone in the kingdom remembered the astrologer's prediction. Many continued to discuss the matter slowly. It came to the Maharaja's ears. All the people who lived in the kingdom were aware of the astrologer's prediction. It was still there at the back of their mind, that prediction, that astrologers had made this prediction when Maharaja Jung Bahadur, he took birth. Okay, many of the people discussed these predictions, and one day King Jung Bahadur came to know about it. Okay, there were innumerable forests in the Pratibandhapuram state. They had tigers in them. The Maharaja knew the old saying, "You may kill even a cow in self-defense." There could certainly be no objection to killing tigers in self-defense. Okay? The Pratibandhapuram state had many forests, okay, which had a number of tigers in them. The Maharaja was aware of an old saying, Purani Kahavat, old saying that you could kill even a cow in order to protect yourself. Means killing of a cow is also valid in self-defense. Suppose if there is a threat to your life by that cow, so you can kill that cow also. Okay, and so he felt that the cow, which was considered to be the holy animal, could also be killed by a Hindu in order to save himself. Okay, then no one would object if he killed a tiger in order to protect himself? He said, cow, which is considered very holy in a nation like India, if the old saying says that you can kill that cow for self-defense, then who is going to object if I am going to kill tigers as self-defense, right? So, this is what he was thinking. So Maharaja Jang Bahadur started out on a tiger hunting expedition. What is this expedition now? What is this expedition? Expedition means a journey, undertaken by a group of people. You can say with a particular purpose, especially to explore something. Suppose I entered a forest with a specific purpose inside my mind that I am going to explore some species of the plant, or I am going to have a research, or I am going to hunt all the tigers. So that is called expedition, right? Now let's move. The Maharaja was thrilled beyond measure when he killed his first tiger. He was very excited when he killed the first tiger. He called for the state astrologer and showed him the dead tiger. See, here it's written, he sent for the state astrologer. Sent means he called, okay, for the state astrologer and showed him the dead beast. What is this dead beast here? That means the tiger, the dead tiger. What do you say now? He demanded. Your Majesty may kill 99 tigers in exactly the same manner. But the astrologer drawled. But what? Speak without fear. But you must be very careful with the 100th tiger. So he said that, sir, that you can kill 99 tigers very simply, just like that. And while he was telling this, all of a sudden he stopped. So he said, tell me why you stopped. Speak without fear. He said, sir, 99 tigers so you can kill very easily, but you have to be very careful while killing your 100th tiger. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, so here there are difficult words. Till where we have done. Let us quickly see. Stuka means a German dive bomber and ground attack aircraft, a fighter plane. You can see here on the screen also. Indomitable means unbeatable. It was there, na? Indomitable courage. So unbeatable courage, undefeatable courage. Sore means wound. The Tiger King has reached that final abode of all living creatures, means he was died. Here you can see abode means heaven. Okay, so he has reached heaven means he is no more. Transfixed means become motionless in astonishment. You can see here the eyes of this boy. These eyes were widespread in astonishment. Then stupefaction means feeling of selflessness. When you hear when you heard some sort of shocking news, or when you get surprised all of a sudden, then this expression comes. Rife means widespread. Quake means shaken. Okay, so now let us continue with that conversation. The king, he called up the astrologer, and he showed him that beast, and he said that, see, I have killed the very first tiger. He was very happy with that killing of the very first tiger, and he said that, sir, you may kill 99 tigers in such a very easy manner, but you have to be careful with your 100th tiger, killing of your 100th tiger. Now see, what if the 100th tiger were also killed? Then I will tear up all my books on astrology, set fire to them, and I shall cut off my tuft, crop my hair short, and become an insurance agent. The astrologer finished on an incoherent note. Okay, so the king encouraged the astrologer to continue without fear. He said, come on, speak. So the astrologer said that the king had to be very careful with the 100 tiger that he hunted. The king asked him that what would happen if he killed the 100 tiger also. He said, if I have killed the 100 tiger also, then what's going to be happen? Then tell me, what will you do? The astrologer replied that he would tear all his books of astrology and set them on fire. He continued that he shall cut off his hair and I'll show you what is the tuft, and would change his profession from astrologer to an insurance agent, as he would not remain a good astrologer any longer. So there are some words which I want you to pay attention. That is tuft. Tuft means a bunch or collection of threads, grass, hair, etc. held or growing together at the base. You would have seen Panditjis. Have you seen them? And there is a tuft on their head like this. Like I say, patli, you have seen the hairs growing just like this. Chutiya, this you say, that is called choti. That is called tuft. So he said, I will cut my tuft and I will set my books on fire. I'll burn my books, I'll tear them if this will not happen. And then there is another word you can see here, incoherent note. What is the incoherent note? Incoherent note means unclear or confused. See, though he was telling all this, he himself was little bit nervous. He was confused. He was not sure of his prediction. Though he said all this, but he himself was doubtful. Okay, so this was all about the second part of our chapter. I think it is enough for today. I'll see you very soon in your next session. Till then, read this. It's very interesting, and I'll come up with the third and fourth part in next video. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy, keep smiling.